Okay, so this really sucks that I have to do this, and to my own mother. But because nobody will be honest about the situation, and the situation is worldwide, and I've talked to thousands of lawyers, thousands of private investigators, hundreds of police officers, you name it, everyone worldwide in an angry rage. Kevin's crazy, he needs to be locked away, put in a mental institution for reasons I cannot comprehend. All the proof and evidence of what's going on, which everyone keeps coming after me, especially the judicial system with larger and larger groups. I kind of wanted to show you, I had a conference with my therapist, Brittany, which I'm sure you've seen the other videos and interviews of her witnessing what's going on. And so this is a conference with Brittany and my mother. And I just want you to notice the fragmented thinking. And, you know, sorry if you're watching, Mom, but the fragmented, not there, I keep putting my foot in my mouth, or I go from this way to that way. I see it, but I don't see it, but I love you, but I don't want to stop these people from hunting you down. Just things that don't make any sense. They're just totally like, right? Okay? And so the reason I mention that is because these psychological labels have put on me since 5 years old that I'm this and I'm that, and then they keep changing. And then the more conversations I have with the family, the more they collect it and use it against it and twist and contort it. But they never look at the blatantly obvious, what's in front of them, right? Dealing with the actual situation and turning it around at me that I have a problem and I'm this and I'm that, but ignoring the real situation. And the real problem is that when people keep following you from place to place, going, he's crazy and we need to lock him away, and we're going to try to set him up, and we're going to try to make him look crazy, all the things my brother was doing growing up, which we now, I've spoken with Greg Waugh, and he's confirmed, yes, which I always knew, but everyone's running around saying you're lying about all these things. Yes, Jason did go after me with the crowbar in a little more indirect way. Yeah, I remember that. It was a long time ago. Admitting to these things happening and the things being done to me, right, throughout my entire life, and that's all the way back at 16. And this starts in 8th grade, or it starts at 5, but 8th grade, things like Tom Farley and Tracy Picos, Paul Humphrey coming into my life doing these things, whatever, which I'm not going to go to here, and of course the black community hunting me for some strange reason because I kissed a black girl like a little peck on the lips between 1st and 2nd grade, and the world told I'm a white supremacist over that. You know, and things similar to this escalating from thing to thing, literally in the thousands. I'm 47 now. There's now a planet full of people that want me dead and gone, and they don't want the truth coming out, leaving me abandoned, alienated, and to be locked away in jail cells and mental institutions for the crime of finding out that I was being hunted at 29. So when you watch this or listen to this, listen to the fragmented, my mother's thought process where she thinks she's in my life. So for example, I went off to college around 18, but for some reason she thinks she's part of the situation. So when she talks about our psychology sessions with therapists or psychiatrists, she kind of puts words in my mouth saying this is how this was and this is how that was, but she was never there. And that also kind of applies to college situations, whether people are spying on me or not. And I know they were because I can talk about all sorts of situations where people, my family wanted me to move in with people, forced me to move in with people, with the judicial system, trying to run me out of my places, to women applying for roommate ads that were then transmitting data back to my family to use against me, and things like this. But just because someone's spying on you and trying to collect dirt to use against you doesn't mean they know you. It doesn't mean they know the real story. it doesn't mean anything but anything, because those types of people aren't credible to begin with. They're violating your privacy, they're violating your space, they're trying to get what they can to use against you. And the real story is the real story between you and that person. And remember that the things the world is being told are things that either don't make sense or don't matter, just to rile up the masses against me. But the point is, when my mother talks about, I think, like one phone call with a therapist in an office, Alex Lazar, and then she thinks there should be no communication with any other outside of that phone call due to confidentiality. And so my point is that, for example, Susan Donner, which was the first on the list of therapists that I should see from my mother, which was completely full of shit and a criminal, riling up the pool hall against me and the masses against me even larger to cover up their mass crime spree with Mike Huntley and the police. You'll see that my mother actually, when she talks, she sounds like she's in the sessions that she was never at, or if possibly there was one conference call, or even she came down, but I'm pretty sure she didn't. Either way, it doesn't matter. She negates the, who knows, 20, 30, 40 sessions, whatever, and turns it into like one, it's like looking at a photograph and focusing on one pixel. Where's the rest of it? Right, if you understand, if there's hundreds of dialogues about all sorts of things, you can't focus on one single word out of 100 dialogues and try to take it out of context and this and that. So that's the point. But the bigger problem is that when this is collected, this fantasy is collected about me, and starting at 5 years old, it's disseminated worldwide, literally, in secret, across the internet, on internet-based terror torture systems, to rile up the masses against me and poison the well for anyone I'm in contact with. So it doesn't matter where I am. If I go off to Southern Oregon State College, women are sent after me, like Kelly has to follow me up, and the entire dorms are notified Kevin's this crazy guy and he's done all these things that don't exist, right? And then I move to University of Colorado, Boulder, Colorado, same thing. People are being disseminated information. Then the internet comes around in '94, which my brother wants me to see so bad, where he's working with the government and the internet tools worldwide to hunt me. And then people I contact or talk to on IRC worldwide are told we all need to remove Kevin from society, trying to set me up or frame me and do these things. They are contacted before I ever meet them. The well is poisoned, and then they go after me. And then it's always, I don't know you. I know you, but I don't know you. I don't know you. And now I'm going to try to set you up, or I'm going to try to provoke you with these psychological terror operations. And then it gets more and more obvious. And then the more I pick up on it and call the bluff, the angrier and angrier they get. You don't talk or we kill you and things like this. And it just escalates like a wildfire, because nobody wants to be honest about the situation, that these are unheard of situations. People don't run around for 42 years going, that guy's crazy, we gotta rid him of the world. Normally things are based on fact and logic. That guy killed someone. Example, that guy killed someone. There's a body, there's a crime scene, there's a weapon, there's blood. We're gonna match the DNA. If a detective's investigating you, you're gonna know that you're a suspect for murder, and there's gonna be a whole. First, there's probably gonna be a dialogue, but more importantly, if you're arrested, you're gonna be arrested for murder. You're not gonna be arrested for lint falling off your shirt, hitting the sidewalk, being called a litterer, and then hunted by worldwide support, and then get you in jail and go, you know what you did. Because that defeats the entire purpose of the judicial system. If the police are doing that, they damn well know you're innocent. They just don't like you. Someone doesn't like you, and they want you dead and gone. That being said, that's how these things are escalating since 5 years old. But more importantly, when you listen to the fragmented conversation, sorry mom, but nobody's gonna be there for me to say none of this is true, then people need to understand that I'm a really good person, and this whole thing is a sham, but it's a sham that has now done horrific, unspeakable things to my life. And so, you know, here it is. You can hear it for yourself. You can see the fragmented thought process, the inability to see what's right in front of her, or the inability, or shifting from this way to that way, but never based on the actual situation, which is the stalking groups taking turns on me, and more importantly, the endless proof, which I've shown the world and my family, which is undisputable. I mean, if a guy's running up, you're a snitch, you're dead, and then there's another video of him attacking you with his police-trained canine, and then there are people from the Warner Center Met property saying, come onto my property, break onto the property so I can test my security camera, and another 100,000 things like this all on video. And then it's nothing's going on, you're imagining it. If you can't process that, or even the first one, even the first video, then something's not right. Now she does also make some claim that I'm like her. Well, yeah, you know, there are some genetic DNA that's like her, like my father, like my brother, like my grandfather. But, you know, small bits. A small bit here, a small bit there. You can't say, I'm my mother, right? Or you can't say, I'm my father. I'm Kevin. And Kevin has made his own choices for 47 years, and all my choices have been really good choices, minus imperfection. And nobody generally hunts you down for imperfection unless it's a smear campaign or a dirt-digging campaign to eradicate you. And also remember that my imperfection within the context of who I am in my life. Example, if the President of the United States cheats on his wife, the ramifications for a guy that puts his finger over the button of a nuclear missile is completely different than the ramifications of a fun-loving, college-friendly hippie guy or whatever, right? They're two different scenarios. You can't apply this to that. You have to take the scenario for who they are, what their life is, and the context around it. And that is being changed, especially in the courtrooms, with a court where the prosecutor and the defense attorney didn't want to talk about any aspect of my life, about who I was up until 29, the things I accomplished, the business I had with Mike Huntley, and what happened, right? They wanted to make me look like some crazy conspiracy theorist, like Mel Gibson out of the movie Conspiracy Theory, and say that I supposedly killed someone. Just pure insanity, right? I've never heard of a situation where the circumstantial evidence in courtrooms was only about trying to make you look crazy and not showing that you're a really good, stable person, and something happened at 29, like Mike Huntley going, you're a dead man with the police. We're using the system against you. I've given you enough rope to hang yourself with. You had better live a careful life. Have a good life now, in an angry voice. Singing World of Paranoia, dropping papers on my desk about making people mentally ill to control them, which is the same thing as murder or attempted murder. There's no such thing as controlling people. You might as well say, I'm going to control you and shove a cattle prod up your ass every 5 minutes. It's not a crime because I'm here to control you. Right? Doesn't make any sense. They're crimes. They're the crime of all crimes. And because this is a mass worldwide conspiracy, where everyone's trying to cover it up and hide it because it starts at 5 years old with the psychology community and judicial system, and things that open up doors to things that they don't want coming out, especially going to the White House of the United States with policeabuse.com and proving the White House security was flipping out. But wait, they don't know me. I'm some crazy guy with delusional disorders, right? Anyways, so you can talk to Kamau Diop at policeabuse.com about that, which has kind of treated me like shit, and it probably relates to the kissing the black girl thing and how I'm a white supremacist because I kissed a black girl, which doesn't make sense. But remember, when you're taking information out of context and delivering it worldwide, they're not going to keep it in context. They're going to make the data, and in this case NSA level data mine data, look like how they want it to look. Okay, so, and that's why we normally have opposing arguments like multiple news sources to counteract one tyrant, or judicial systems that are supposed to have opposing arguments. In my case, everyone's working together, trying to make me look crazy, and get false confessions, lock me in to jail cells and mental institutions to try to make me look crazy, which is the entire problem if no one thinks this is wrong. But once again, with the endless proof that I have, I want you to hear the fragmented, unstable thought process of someone who can't grasp something simple. Now, I know this is an unheard of situation, but remember one thing. I'm the target. It's a one-to-many ratio. I'm the target, the one, and this is worldwide. Which means everyone knows me, or at least a good, let's say 70% of the planet knows me. And 70% of the people I deal with go ballistic on me with all these act out in rage, lash out in rage on me. And it's been going on since 5 years old. So, if you're part of the conspiracy, you're going to lie. If you don't know what's going on, yeah, you're going to be a little confused, but I've now given so much data on photos and videos and you name it, proving everything, that is undisputable. It's not a couple of people that don't like me and I suffer from some kind of childhood traumatic event that is the stupidest thing known to man. It is daily attacks with angry, enraged people, which I've proven a billion times over. This is probably now up to 4 billion people on the planet in anger and rage, on the internet, off the internet, parking lots worldwide, you name it. Every conversation I have with stranger after stranger worldwide. And the whole argument of I can't believe it and it's hard to believe, well, we can throw that in there, but still, with the amount of data that I've given everyone, especially my family, they really have no excuse. Video after video of people doing things to me, you name it. On all sorts of levels, one-to-one levels or group attacks, you name it. It's not disputable, but let's just, even if it were to be, and my mother couldn't grasp the scenario, you can still see the thought process where she thinks she's like me in at the sessions or something like that, right? If you understand what I'm saying. So the whole concept of Kevin Perelman being a violent paranoid schizo or any of these hundreds of psychological cover-up labels just don't cut it unless the people are liars and they want to cover up this mass crime spree. And sorry about the lens, the facial tracking, it looks like it's crapping out. Okay, so that being said, here is the conference with Brittany, Henderson, and my mother, Anita Perelman, who is an art therapist, or LMFT, whatever. But during my childhood, she practiced art therapy at Cedars-Sinai, and would bring home all sorts of like violent artwork from her students, or not students, patients or whatever. So like on the dining room table would be like, I can remember one was a sketched log and he had a clay head of a skull chopped off on a log, right? So these were the patients that my mother was seeing when I was in Hidden Hills, maybe 12 or 13, and apparently the way that her patients were venting were in these gruesome artistic pictures and some with clay and this and that, right? So yeah, she did do art therapy. Now I'm an artist, so all of my art is gone through and used against me, and none of it is violent or mean or anything. I mean, I have done some recent artworks to sort of make a point, a political point. Look, Stephen King writes horror books, and if I do some scarier art, then I have the right to do that, and you can't follow me around going because you watched horror movies, we're going to rid you of the world, or because your art is scary in nature, we're going to rid you of the world, because nobody cares. Everyone looks at art and goes, I like it or I don't like it. They don't look at your art, hunt you down, try to kill you, going, you're crazy, right? And that's recent, but my past art has been very warm and friendly. I mean, not warm, but comic booky, right? Like, oh, hey, comic book character, and maybe some comic book character swinging a samurai, and they're nitpicking things out of this and trying to use it as leverage against me, which doesn't make any sense. So anyways, you get the idea. So here is my mother and Brittany Henderson and a conference of all of us together talking about trying to, I don't know, hash things out, and for Brittany to understand where I'm kind of coming from, and hopefully for my mother to hopefully snap to it and think rationally, but I don't think that's possible. So anyways,
Hello?
Hello. Hi.
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me? Hi.
I
Okay,
hear you.
so I got Brittany on
Turn it
the.
up.
Oh, what?
Hello, Brittany.
Oh no, she's on. Okay, so I'm gonna merge the call or whatever. Hold on a sec.
All right.
Hello.
Hey.
Hello. Okay.
Hello?
Hi.
Hi. Okay, so Brittany,
Hi,
this
how
is
are
my
you?
mother, Anita.
Hi, nice to meet
Hello,
you.
Brittany.
Okay, so
Hi.
she's
Nice
an
to
art
meet you.
therapist
Hope you're
too.
fine.
Yeah. So just so you know, she's an art
Right, that's what you
therapist.
I'm
So.
were
a,
saying.
I'm a marriage, family, child therapist.
Okay, same as me.
MFT. But
Okay,
not practicing for probably 15 years. Retired.
okay.
Worked in Los Angeles at Cedars-Sinai in private practice. And anyway, I don't think that matters. But that's my background.
Okay,
Mostly it matters that I'm Kevin's mother.
yes. Well, thank you for doing this.
Sorry, I'm in Israel right now, and it's like 10-hour time change. And so I'll do the best I can. I've been up since 6 my time, and it's after 10 here. So I don't know if I'm planning to do this for an hour or for as long as it takes, or but I'll do my best.
Is now okay of a time? Or
Yeah, we don't have a choice. We don't have a choice
Okay.
because the way the 10-hour time difference makes it difficult to figure out when the best time is. So
Okay.
let's just start, and I may have to wind down in half an hour or something. We'll see, how much we can get accomplished. And
Okay.
I don't know. You set the agenda because I'm not sure if what Kevin's wanting to know.
It's
Right.
no, I don't really have an agenda. I just, like I told Brittany, I think we just need to hash things out. Most importantly, I think that I was just telling Brittany is that you're under the assumption that I have a problem and nothing's going on, and it's one or two people, and somehow that's sparked a traumatic event and this and that in me. And Brittany has witnessed these mass groups going ballistic on me, especially all the way out in Thousand Oaks, Westlake, or wherever we go. And I have her go to different places, and she witnesses the things going on at just each and every place. But I don't know. So I think I'm trying to, because you're not here to witness it. Even if you were here, you couldn't really witness it. Even though when I was out in Vancouver, the same things. I was being attacked at coffee shops and wherever I went. But I guess so. I think that we need to talk about that first, and then after that, I don't know, any issues, theories that you want to throw out from now to my childhood or whatever. And just try to hash it out.
Maybe Brittany wants to ask. maybe Brittany could ask me some things about your child.
Well,
Sure, that's fine. I don't care. Yeah.
Okay, well, I guess, what Kevin just said, that there was, what did you say, a problem, or you have a problem or something?
Yeah, well, at 29...
he said my mother...
At 29, you said, you have a problem too, or something like that, and insinuating that I have some kind of problem. And at the same time, Mike Huntley was upset because he was trying to prove...
At 29 and a half, between almost 30, and suddenly, you changed your phone number and everything, and you felt like you were being followed, and you were being followed, and you were very scared at that time because something was going on, and it was traumatic. And at that time, I said, well, I think you need to get help, and try to figure this out. And
right.
That's when I helped Kevin get to see somebody that it didn't work out for Kevin.
Okay, and he has spoken with me about that too, because he said at 29 is when he started to notice things, but it was very
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, it's okay.
Brittany?
Yeah.
No, I was just going to say that was Susan Donner, but yeah, I was going to say that was Susan Donner, but go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt.
And I don't remember how long Kevin saw her for, but I did come down for I went to a session with him, and and that was sort of when things had sort of drastically changed for Kevin, and when things
what was
started
that
to,
session
I want to say, fall apart. But,
so she...
the therapy session like?
Oh, you're asking me?
Either. Sorry. It's hard with three of us because I'm hard of hearing and with a hearing aid, and so I'm really trying. Okay.
Okay, so Brittany, are you asking
as well?
Yeah. Can you guys hear me?
I'm just asking what took place in that therapy session that you two were in together.
Oh, she wasn't with me in that. That was the first therapist. She gave me a list of therapists that I don't know how she got them, but the first one I went to was Susan Donner. And she was just this crazy psychotic nut job that was working with Mike Huntley to try to get false confessions, and she was telling me that a virus crawled up in my... What? She was telling me that a virus crawled up in my head and I developed schizophrenia and things like this. It doesn't make sense.
No, I think she did not say you were schizophrenic, and
Mom.
She might have thought you were something.
Wait, time out.
She sent.
Mom, you were not in the session.
She told you. No, I'm sorry. I just wanted to say something about a virus. I could have had a virus.
Mom, you weren't. I'm not trying to be mean, but you weren't there.
No, I wasn't there. Said that, but weren't we in the session together with her?
No, I think you talked with Alex Lazar, right, in Encino.
All right. Okay. I'm not sure.
So at some point you were in the same room for a therapy session together?
No, I think she was on the phone, right? Or did you go? I can't remember.
No, I went to her. I went to her office.
Not Susan Donner's.
And I had a session with her, but I thought you were with me.
I don't recall any session with Susan Donner, but I recall you talking with Alex Lazar in Encino.
Yes, that was we had when you saw I saw Susan Donner, and when you saw Alex Lazar, he called me, and we were in the office. We had a conference call.
Okay. So, and what was that conference call?
Much later.
Okay.
Okay, so anyways, just to throw in a quick, my meetings, whether my mother was with one of Susan Donner's or not, my meetings without my mother, from Susan Donner to me, is that a virus crawled in my head, I developed schizophrenia. But not only that, she was asking me if I was harassing waitresses, and after that, all the waitresses got together at Yankee Doodle's pool hall for 6 10 years mentally battering me to death with hundreds to 1,000 people coming in for at least over 6 years in mass torment. And not only that, but at one point she was asking me, one of the people at my father's office gave me a key, like a cross, well, I don't remember, some religious thing on my keychain, and gave it to me, and she asked me, "What's this?" And I can't remember what she said, but she said, or I tried to explain something, and she cut me off, and I said, "Well, the devil's in the details." That the term, the devil's in the details. And she says, "No, the term isn't the devil's in the details. The angel's in the details." Trying to flip me out, make me look crazy, whatever. And I just knew that this person was not a good person, and she was trying to get dirt on me, and a lot of her information was coming straight from Mike Huntley.
Okay. I just recall that she wasn't sure about what was happening with you, and she sent you to UCLA to a supervisor, like a clinical supervisor of hers. She said, she didn't tell me this. This is what, maybe she told me after. But she sent you there, and you had an evaluation there, and you left her just shortly after that. And that's all I remember. But is that what's really what you want to talk about?
No, we're not. We don't have anything specific.
I would like to kind of know. I would just kind of like to hear, I guess, from your perspective too, like when all this was happening, what were you thinking, and what was, with your son? Because I'm a parent, I have 2 little ones, so I can't imagine, like, you're a mother and you love him obviously very much. He's your son. So was it hard for you? Like, what was going on for you?
Obviously, I
see him going through this.
I loved Kevin very, very much, and it was very worrisome that he, his situation changed. He seemed to have a lot more anxiety, and he was not able to, the company. He had to leave his company, and
actually, I didn't leave it. I ended up. Mike left and Bob left, but.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, I know, but you had to migrate all your accounts.
Oh yeah, of course. They tried to take over the company and run me out, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, but in any event, that changed greatly for you because that was very important in your life. I mean, that was part of your. I think you had dreams for yourself and goals, and that was. Unfortunately.
Yeah, and the problem is I couldn't start anything new because after that is you don't talk or we kill you from stranger after stranger, and in lies the problem.
So, if I can ask, what do you think?
Can I ask you, Brittany?
Sure.
Can I ask you just to try to speak a little louder, or Kevin will have to repeat.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Can you hear me?
He's coming in loud and clear, but you're not. Okay.
That's the same. I hear him loud and clear as well, and then I don't know what maybe because of the third party. But what do you think is or was or is continuing to go on with your son? Like,
Kevin, can you
hear me?
And what?
No. I didn't hear what Brittany asked. That's the problem. I used to be in your office with Kevin.
Right. We could, how long is she away, Kevin? I know she can't hear me.
Oh, she can't hear you?
No, she can't hear me.
No.
I think she comes back pretty soon, but that's not the problem. The problem is I might be history on the 23rd.
Right. Kevin, I wonder if we could FaceTime or Skype when we're like in a session, so we could do that this week with your mom and she could hear us better.
I don't mind doing that. I don't know if she knows how to use Skype though. Mom, are you still here?
Or FaceTime.
Yeah, I'm here, and to FaceTime?
Yeah.
I don't know how
I don't have Apple, but I'm sure there's 100,000 apps that are similar.
I mean, we could use my phone or computer too. I mean, we could even, if she has Skype, or we could call. Does she have an Apple iPhone?
Hey,
I
Mom.
have an
Mom.
Apple
Okay,
iPhone.
so wait. Can everyone hear each other right now?
I can hear you.
I think so.
And your
I hear
mom.
Brittany.
Yeah.
It's just a little. I hear Brittany. It's a little garbled, so I hear some things and then I
Well,
don't hear
let's
clearly.
just try to hash this
So
out
let's
right
keep
now
going.
because I might not have much time. So, and then if we
Maybe you
want to
could
do,
translate.
yeah. So who? Brittany, you can't hear my mother?
I can hear your mom. It's a little low, but I can hear her. I think she's having trouble hearing what I'm saying and stuff.
Mom, can you hear us or no?
She can hear
I
you.
hear you beautifully, Kevin. I hear you really loud and clear. Brittany's a little like softer, more muffled in the background. It might just be the tone of her voice, and I'm having a little more trouble picking up, making sense. So
I think it's the three-way
going.
Okay. So maybe, Kevin, you could relay this to your mom. I was just asking her what she thinks and thought was going on when this all started.
Okay, Mom, Brittany's asking what you thought was going on with me at the time.
Well, I thought you were followed, or that you were, that people were doing things to you, and that you were mistrustful, that you were kind of like suspicious, and it was traumatic, I think, for you. It was such a sudden change.
Okay.
Up until that time, even in December, this happened in around like end of November, December for Kevin, or the beginning of it, and we went away on a trip with him in mid-December. Everything was fine, and then maybe 3 weeks
we went to Cabo, I think.
Okay.
We went to Cabo,
and everything was
I
fine.
thought it was a great, We used to do a lot with Kevin. We used to travel. Like, I have to say that of the 5 children, it's like, I want to say it's a blended family, but my kids, Kevin and his brother, were in the States, and I left in Kevin went to Colorado and I left when he was 18, I guess, and he wasn't in he was in Oregon, Oregon State University. And that's when I decided I could leave and go up to Vancouver, and I always wondered if that, has been really hard when I left. He was away at school, but I left my country, I left my home, I left my kids away. I didn't know. One was in medical school. Kevin, and I left.
Okay.
There was 2 siblings, older, and my son Jason and Kevin. And of the 5, the most Mel, he was the easiest to be with, and we used to take him out when he got along really well with my husband. And, very fond of him, loved him. We traveled. I don't know, Kevin, if you remember that.
Yeah, I remember all that.
And,
I remember. I remember as far back as going to Nassau in the Bahamas with Jen Yang and Greg Waugh when I was in high school. We went to.
Oh, that was bad.
That was the breakup for Jason. I also remember going to Atlantis with Jason and Jen Pilchick. That wasn't that long ago.
But I thought, he was being with his brother, or he was he would say, okay, I'm staying for a week, and then at the end of the week, can you get me another ticket or something? 2 weeks or 3 weeks. He would stay on, and he appeared to be really... Then the last came 10, and he came to the Olympics He was there
Oh,
with
wow.
his 2 kids and his wife, and Kevin was with us. And Kevin did stay on after that. And then that was sort of the end. He came back again and went on a fishing trip in August with my husband and the family, a few family members of my husband. And I don't know, Kevin, I thought he was having a great time. He was catching fish and taking photographs and everything. And then shortly after that, he felt like the people on the trip were harassing him or doing things to him, and he was, really, really upset. And he didn't come back after that. And he actually, this was very, very hard for me and very traumatic. And I think like dancing on eggshells or whatever since, or walking on eggshells since then, because he didn't speak to me for 5 years. He just sort of cut things off.
Well,
And
I think. Do you mind if I step in here? That's not.
Go ahead.
No, jump in, Kevin.
That's not the right time frame. Okay, I did not instantly distance myself. I spent a good 5 years after that coming up to Vancouver, going to Chicago for Uncle Stuart's, my nephew Alejandro, bar mitzvah. So I didn't just cut my family off. I invested a good 5 years or something.
No, but that was 2010, and then we didn't reconnect until 20.
No, something like 2007 or 2006 to 2011 is when I stopped talking to you, and this starts in 2001.
No, but you came up to the 2010 Olympics.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. That's right, and that's when I told Stuart, my stepbrother Stuart, that I was never coming back. That's right.
Okay.
2010.
So that was a long time period.
So it doesn't matter.
But that's 2010.
The time frame I don't think is so important.
Well, it is because 2001 we went to Cabo in 2001. So the time frame is important.
So
yeah,
we
went to Cabo
for several years.
And you turned 30 in 2002, right? Is that right? So,
somewhere around there.
Yeah, 2002. He said the same at the end of 2001.
Okay.
And for a while, he came up and visited us, and then I don't know, it got harder and harder for Kevin, and I a lot and had a really hard time. And now I'm trying for him.
What?
Oh, can you hear me? Hello?
What?
Concerns? So she said she has concerns for you.
She said what?
She said she has concerns, like a lot of concerns. So I was just asking what kind of concerns.
Well,
concerns.
I have great concerns because Kevin's got a court date on Thursday, and I'm worried for him.
Okay. About what will happen? I don't know if she can hear me or not.
I don't know. But my problem is that she's concerned about the specifics, but she's not concerned about the situation. Does that make sense?
Okay.
I don't know if any of you can hear me.
I can hear you just fine. Have you said that to your mother?
I mean, yeah, I've gotten pissed, and I've tried to send her hundreds of videos and talk about the situation, but she won't. She's in denial that all people are good people except her son. I mean, does that make sense?
I don't think so. I don't want to argue with you, but that's not.
My point is that you're always angry and focused on me, but you're never focused on the whys or the actual situation, and you're not mad about
Kevin,
what's being done.
Kevin?
Yeah.
Do you think I'm angry at you? You think I'm angry?
Well, okay, here's the thing. If people are going ballistic on you, and you say, I don't care about what those people are doing to you, then that's a sign of anger. Does that make sense?
Was that
Of
said?
course I care what people are...
Okay, let me give you an example. Let me give you an example. If you're standing on a sidewalk, and I walk outside, and 1,000 people walk up with baseball bats and start bashing my skull in, and then I, after 100 hours of bleeding to death, grab a bat, start swinging for my life, and you say, well, I don't care about those 1,000 people bashing your skull in with a crowbar or a baseball bat. Now I'm worried about you going to jail, but those guys didn't do anything wrong and it never happened. Then that's a sign of anger, like I don't like you. Does that make sense?
But of course I don't.
Like I'm gonna let you die. I don't care about those people hunting you down to kill you. That doesn't matter. Then that's a sign of anger. That's like, I want you to die and I'm gonna let them kill you.
Kevin.
Yeah.
Kevin, I think about you every day. You're in my heart all the time. I pray for you every night.
But I send you video footage, the same video footage. Brittany's seen a lot less, and she looks at it and goes, this is unacceptable. I can't believe I'm seeing this.
Well, sometimes as a mother, it's extremely painful for me to watch those things.
That's true.
I could understand that. I could totally understand that, but how can you...
When you asked me specifically to watch the video of the Starbucks and on of December 30th, and the incident in question that, they think you made a threat, I watched that 5 times over finally, and I couldn't hear anything that's other than you're documenting your concerns.
They're not concerned. Okay, that's the point. Okay, so Brittany, you've seen some of the video.
Yes.
Brittany, you've seen a teeny tiny bit of 15 terabytes. 15. Do you know how big 15 terabytes of video is? Brittany, you've seen a tiny little bit. Do you think that that's concerns? No. Say that again, just so...
no, I've seen... Wait, are you talking to me or your mother?
I'm talking to you, Brittany. The video you've seen, the tiny little bit, do you see that as Kevin's concerned or something's going on?
No, I've definitely seen, crimes being committed and nothing being done about it.
Correct. You've seen dog attacks. You've seen dog attacks. You've seen thuggings, I don't talk. You've seen death threats. You're a snitch. You're dead.
I've seen all those.
Okay, but nothing's registering in your head that someone doesn't want me talking?
Of course it's registering.
Okay, but you just said before that I'm concerned, right? That's not consistent. Do you understand?
Was she referring to a specific or overall? I don't know. Just getting clarity.
Well, are you still there, Mom?
It would be helpful.
You still there?
I'm here. I'm not.
Okay. If people are going ballistic on me and it's on video, then it's not a concern. It's a fact. Does that make sense?
Right.
So she's jumping to concerns because she's... It's not... Oh, okay, so then explain how it's out of context.
No, I was trying to say that video on you, that I watched that video, 5, 3, 4, whatever, over, and that you didn't say anything.
And do you think but you don't feel that they did anything wrong?
In all of the things. Not just even the...
Something was done wrong if they called the police and they reported it.
But you saw the video. What did you... What did you see in this 40-minute video?
Oh, I saw the talking about the way cars were parked in the parking lot, or
Okay, and it's on video.
Pattern. I saw.
Okay, let's stop. I know. Let's not talk about the judge. We can't control what the judge is going to say, whether he knows what's going or not. We can't control that. So let's not talk about the judge. Let's talk about the situation, because that is what's most important. The judge can be paid off to do whatever he wants. So we need to talk about the situation. Brittany, have you seen people provoking me in Thousand Oaks?
Yes, I have, and in the videos as well.
Okay, can you throw some kind of approximate? Wait, Mom, just let me finish this. Mom, let me just finish this.
What now?
Brittany, can you throw an approximate? The very few times you've been out with me, can you throw an approximate harassment number?
No.
Just a random guess. 1, 2, 100.
Oh, I don't know. 50 maybe?
Okay, fine. 50. 50 people in Thousand Oaks, Westlake area provoking me. I don't know one of them.
Mm-hmm.
That is the situation.
In all of these.
It's very strange.
Okay, so if 50 strangers in Thousand Oaks and Camarillo and Oxnard and Las Vegas and Florida are provoking me, that's the situation.
Can you tell your mom exactly what, when you say provoking, the incident that you're referring to?
Okay, sure. Remember I explained to you first I showed you on video the mass groups honking their alarm horns by pushing the alarm button, 2 or 3 times, which today sitting outside my balcony, there's been about 15 of those. First I showed you it on video, right? Remember that?
You talking to me or to
I'm talking to Brittany to explain to you.
Oh, no, I understand that. I wanted your mom. I didn't know if she didn't understand what you were saying.
Well, no, I'm trying to explain it. I'm trying to explain the specifics. So, Brittany, remember I showed you on the video people honking their alarm horns 2 or 3 times at me.
Correct, yes.
And then remember we went outside of your office and you saw a couple of people do that.
Yes.
And then we went to the corner bakery and you saw someone do it. And you're on video, your eyes are like jumping out of your head, like they just did it again.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then we went to, last week to Panera Bread. And I think someone just did it once where you witnessed the cars showing up parking backwards directly at me.
Wait, say that last part, you kind of cut out.
So then we went last week to Panera Bread. And you saw, I think one time someone honked their alarm horn 2 or 3 times, and then you saw the people in the parking lots pulling up their cars backwards directed at me.
Correct.
Okay. So that's one of these thousands of psychological terror tactics in mass worldwide groups. Do you want me to rattle off more of these tactics?
Me or your mother?
So, Kevin,
both of you.
Probably have. Oh, sorry. Sorry, it's like.
Okay, go ahead. That's fine. Go ahead.
Sorry. So I understand that you that Brittany into your life in such a way that she's witnessed some of this. She's seen the video. She's seen an actuality in the parking lot or in the Panera Bread. But what I want to know is, you probably have 20 minutes left on this call. Is there anything that you want us to know or that you want to talk about in terms of my relationship with you?
Well, I mean, I guess. Okay, we can, but here's the problem. If your relationship is that you don't believe me, even though it's worldwide and I'm 10 times more known than Donald Trump from these masks, we're gonna lock Kevin in a mental institution and say he's crazy for what he knows, then how can you be part of my life? And I'm not trying to be, I'm not trying to sound mean.
Because I believe in you. Because.
But you won't admit.
Gentle soul.
That's irrelevant. The situation is the problem. Kevin, my son's crazy and he believes this and it's not happening. That's the problem. You still there?
I'm here.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
They're trying to throw me in mental institutions. They're trying to throw me in jail. If you want to be on my side, you got to say that's unacceptable and what these people are doing is unacceptable. Okay, so we have people following me out now. They're taking pictures of me.
Kevin?
Yeah.
I'm not trying to. Hey, I'm not trying to throw you into anything.
What?
What did she say? I can't hear her.
I can't hear her either.
I said I'm not trying to throw you into anything. I just want you to have, a better life, a productive life.
Okay, I understand that, Mom, but here's the situation. Here's the reality. You have to snap out of your denial because there's a reality to life. If mass people are showing up trying to bash my skull in with crowbars, and you make a choice that you're going to sit on the sidelines and watch and not take part in stopping it, then what do you think's going on in my mind?
That I don't care about you?
Correct.
Of course I care about you.
Then why do you not say this is unacceptable and correct? Thank you. Acknowledge the situation.
I'm sorry. I it's okay. Hello?
I'm here. Brittany, are you here?
I'm here. I hear you.
Okay, Mom, can you?
I'm sorry, I heard some beep. I'm here.
I think more than anything, like, just having all of this acknowledge that these things are happening to you, I think would be a good place to start.
That I acknowledge, that I should acknowledge.
Can you hear me? I'm sorry. Can you repeat that one more time? I'm sorry.
Kevin would like me to acknowledge that these things are happening to him. Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying
just that.
That's what I'm saying. Or you're abandoning me.
See what he's talking about.
Well, I certainly am acknowledging it, and I acknowledged it in particular with some of the people in your neighborhood who are provoking you, the dog person, the dog attack, the Amy Bernard, and the other person who got you charged with the police because of they were baiting you and provoking you and setting you up, and absolutely 100%.
Okay, but you're not questioning why so much resources are being used to send these people after me.
Because I can't imagine.
I agree with you. It's a very freaky, unheard of situation. But
absolutely,
it's all on video. Or way less than 1% is on video, which is 15 terabytes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So these things, I think your mom, she is acknowledging these things are happening, and
okay, but
the big question, you're right, is why.
But she's not, because remember when we talked 10 minutes ago, she said I went into Starbucks and people are concerned. Okay. Do you understand?
No. I said I listened to that tape 3 or 4 or 5 times. I can't even remember right now.
It's a video. It's not tape.
And
but
I watched it. And video, excuse me, and that and Kevin and I are very similar. You know, Kevin's a lot like me. Maybe he doesn't like that when I say that. He's a lot like me, except in terms of maybe sensitivity and art and an eye for design and lots of things like that. But nothing like me when it comes to technology, because I'm totally retarded in that area.
Or fear.
But so this audio,
or fear.
yeah. So I watched, and Kevin probably has a better sense of humor than his mother. But I watched and listened, and all I said is that Kevin did not make a threat.
Oh, no, Kevin did not. Absolutely. That's what she was saying, Kevin.
And
no, I know, but there's more going on.
All he was doing was documenting into his recorder what people do to him. That's all I said. So I don't know. Somehow you keyed in on the word concern, Kevin, and I think.
Well, because the way you're conveying the message. When you talk, you leave out everything like, oh, you did this now. Does that make sense? Whether I'm innocent or guilty, okay, this is my problem. Whether I'm innocent or guilty of a situation, you discount the situation and only focus on, is my son a good or bad person? Does that make sense?
So my son is a good person. I just told you. You were a good person. You were a gentle soul.
Okay, but my point is that you're discounting the thuggings, the attacks. You're sort of right now saying, this is the first time I've ever heard you say, I kind of sort of see what's going on. This is the first time. Okay?
Well, I'm sorry you feel that way.
If I'm walking into a public establishment, anyone, and the entire establishment starts taking turns on me, the only thing in your mind should be, these fucking pieces of shit are hunting down my son. Not did Kevin do this, did Kevin not do that. These fucking pieces of shit are hunting down my son. That's the acknowledgement, yeah.
Maybe I am in some sort of denial, but some of this is very confusing to me.
I would have to say 99% denial.
Okay.
I kind of thought that the other night on the was I don't know. I don't see you. I don't know you, but I only see you a couple times. I felt really badly about that, and I sort of felt like I needed to say, and maybe Brittany needed to hear, or you needed to hear. My husband's 81 years old. He had 4 heart procedures within a 4-month period. I fell and had a concussion. I was on the phone with Kevin, but I tripped on something, smashed my face on the floor. Yeah, and had a concussion, and had that for 2 months. Then my husband had his valve replaced, his aortic valve, and he had flu for 2.5 months from January until whatever. So there was no traveling. I did not come back to LA. I don't see Kevin as much because he will not come anymore, and of course now he can't come to Vancouver. But
you can't.
And sometimes I'm afraid to come down there because
no, I can if I wanted to.
Okay.
I don't know if Kevin wants me to, and sometimes I started to say at the beginning of the conversation, I kind of walk on eggshells a bit because I don't want to say the wrong thing or do the wrong thing. I want to keep our relationship, and
but you can't understand the simple dynamics that are so simple. Let's say we go to a restaurant, right? And this happens every single time, and it's been happening.
Restaurant?
Correct, a restaurant, anywhere.
That's what we do.
Okay, let's say we go to a restaurant.
Yeah, okay. That's what we do everywhere. That's how
we can apply this to any place. We can apply this to restaurants, gas stations. I don't care. Let's say I go to a restaurant.
Well, Kevin.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so let's say we go to
to visit?
Well,
Do you think? Would you like your mother to visit?
well, I'm trying to explain the problem.
Oh, sorry. Okay, go ahead.
Let's say we go to a restaurant. 15, 20 people provoke me. You guys chew your food with a smile. I'm getting angrier and angrier because people are provoking me. You go, nothing's happening, you're imagining it. I go, why aren't you saying anything?
You never said that.
I tried to explain how they kept. I tried to explain.
Okay.
I tried to explain to you how, like, when I order steaks, every single place in the world intentionally cooks them wrong and, like, bloody over and over and things like this, and to try to provoke me.
What I said to Kevin is, well, that happens to me too. It's overcooked. It's
okay, but that's the point. That's the denial that this isn't a random one-time incident. And then the waitresses will come up. And then the waitresses. Okay, so you already see the problem, right? Okay, so now the waitress comes up, and every waitress or employee keeps saying "enjoy" 100 times, like you've seen the Perfects or the other things, in groups, not one random event. And then I try to.
I try to explain to Kevin. That every restaurant I go into, the server comes up to me and says, "How's your food taste?"
Okay, but 10 minutes ago you said you were on my side, and that you understand what's going on.
But sometimes.
See, Brittany, do you see the problem?
I think that you understand what's going on. Yeah, I mean, it's not a normal thing that's happening to you.
Correct. It's unheard of. It's called gang stalking.
Right. And your mom, I think her point in saying what she's saying is maybe to make you like feel better, like if you're not being singled out. I don't know.
No, what she's saying, and Mom, I'm not trying to be mean. What you've just said to me is I'm seeing things that aren't there. In your own words, right now, on the phone, you just said, Kevin.
How did I say that?
I'm explaining the situation, and instantly you say, well, sometimes people cook steaks rare, and sometimes people say enjoy. You just defended the gang stalkers.
What was the
sorry, because I didn't mean to do that.
Well, but my point is that now you want to go out and you want to be around me, but you're defending the stalkers.
Kevin, what would be a response from your mom that...
What would be what?
Would be good.
What
would be like a helpful response?
She has to first acknowledge the situation so that when she sees these group thugs and bullies, she can say, Kevin, this is unacceptable. I can't believe this is happening. Just like you did.
Okay.
Do you understand? When she tells me...
I do.
When she defends the gang stalkers, what she's really saying is, Kevin, you're crazy and you're imagining it, helping the police throw me in mental institutions. But wait, this all comes from Jason and me stopping Gregoire from Jason bashing Gregoire's head in with a crowbar. So now she's supporting Jason. Whether she's doing it intentionally or not, I can't tell you.
I'm not doing it intentionally.
Okay, so then you gotta pull it together.
Kevin, I'm not doing anything intentionally. I think it's semantics. I think it's maybe, I don't know.
Well, it sounds like what your mom is saying, like the intention, the way it's interpreted.
A lot of the time,
Go ahead.
As a mother, I think sometimes I've just tried to be neutral, and that you don't like that.
These aren't neutral situations.
I just tried to listen to you.
Let me ask you a moral question. If you're walking down the street and some guy's slamming some guy's head in with a baseball bat, and you walk away from it because you want to be neutral, morally, you just helped the guy kill the guy.
You are breaking up a little bit.
I don't think there's a law, but there's a moral and ethical. If you're a police officer, you're breaking the law. But there's a moral or ethical decision you've made that you're not going to do a damn thing. You could have picked up the phone and called the cops. You could have did 100 things. You could have screamed for help, but you're just being neutral. That guy's skull is being bashed in by a baseball bat. But I just want to be neutral. Well, how do you think the guy who's dying feels about that?
Well, I think I would be the first person to be a good Samaritan or whatever and call the police or call 911 or try to help somebody.
Okay, so this situation, as hard as this is for you to grasp,
I was at the Safeway and outside, and I saw a guy, and he was white as a sheet, and he looked like he was stooped over, and he looked like he was going to pass out, and I stopped and said, "Sir, can I help you? Is something the matter? Can I get you some water?" And this was like 5 days ago. No, it was before that. It was a week and a half ago, and he just said, I'm okay. And I said, "Are you sure?" But that's me. I'm the one giving money to every person.
until it's your son.
Handout.
Right? Until it's your son. Until he's in that situation. Until it's your son. Until he's in that situation. This situation is that same situation. There's just no one physically touching me.
Well,
why do I deserve to be thrown in jail or mental institutions?
You don't.
Okay, so you're sitting on the sidelines.
I mean,
neutral.
You are not a criminal. You are not a criminal. You were provoked into two situations in a bad way. And
wait, say that again. 2 to 3, did you say?
Pain.
2 different situations.
What?
I think she said.
You said I was provoked. How many?
The charges that put you. No, the provoke. The 2 incidents at, I think there were 2 at an apartment complex that got the charges made by the police that, got you into the situation. And
sure, but what you're ignoring is the 100,000 to a million attacks to me per day for 18 years before that.
I'm not ignoring it.
But I mean, don't you think the emphasis is that there's a planetary group of people trying to lock me in jail or mental institutions, and it's people need to get together and say that's unacceptable?
Well, I don't know how people get together.
You don't know how to what?
I'm starting. It's like 11 o'clock, 5 to 11, or 11. I think we Brittany, that you would find say to
ask Kevin, what can your
I don't know, do you
what can your to make you feel like you're doing yourself?
Hello? Hello? You guys still there?
Hi, Kevin?
Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. We both hear you.
Is there a way that I can talk to you differently, hear you differently, respond differently?
This is a black and white situation that my life is at stake. I don't know how you can talk to me differently because you have to acknowledge the situation. If you can't acknowledge the situation, then you're actually doing harm to my life because then you're going to say I'm imagining it and I'm crazy.
Well, how can she acknowledge it in a way that you feel
I can't tell you.
I never said to you imagine.
Okay.
She has to watch the videos, she has to take the time to understand, and she has to say this is unacceptable, and she has to do it because she believes in it.
Kevin, I do the best I can. Brittany needs to know, I guess, that I've developed quite a bit of anxiety. recently some depression, and
I didn't.
I'm kind
Wait.
of doing the best I can.
Oh, you can't. Well, Mom, I'm not trying to be mean, but maybe you should pull it together before it's too late. You know?
Listen, maybe I should what?
Pull it together before it's too late.
Well, I think that's important because I've always felt that I was very solid, very strong, and this has just been a really difficult time for me. So I'm doing the best I can, but sometimes watching the videos a lot, going to the website and watching the videos a lot is very anxiety-provoking for me. And maybe Brittany could understand that because, you know.
Well, how do you think I feel when I have to take the blows?
I can imagine.
Okay.
It's painful. Yeah. So I watch what I can when I can.
But why can't you verbally address it how it is?
Well, I'll try to do better.
Because, like, when we just talked about restaurants, you started, well, Kevin, sometimes people and sometimes, right? And when you talk like that, that makes a statement in itself that you're imagining.
It makes you feel badly. Okay, I understand.
Well, no, but it states what you think.
It's just that sometimes things happen in restaurants and I feel like I'm having the same experience.
We're not, Mom. Sometimes meteors fall out of the sky. Sometimes there are car accidents and pileups on the freeway. Sometimes there are hurricanes and tornadoes.
That's the thing.
This isn't about sometimes. This is about what is happening. It is unacceptable. And we don't care about sometimes. We care about the facts which you need to stick with and focus on, which is look at what's being done to my son. And if you can't acknowledge that what's going on is being done to me, and I have 18 years of videos showing it, and then when I explain it to you, trust me, I can read people like Braille, that you need to believe that and not question me.
Okay.
But when you start questioning me, it shows doubt. And when you show doubt, it makes a non-direct statement, I don't believe you.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think you'll just have to say, Mom, you're doing it again. Or Mom, remind me, Mom, you're doing it again. Or something like that.
But you don't see a process with your brain process that you can't simply say, they just did it again. That's fucked up. That's unacceptable.
Kevin, can I ask a question?
I said that.
All right, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
How long did it take for you to really... Kevin?
Yeah. Hello?
How long did it take for you to... Hi, Kevin, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
How long did it take for you to actually believe the things that you were saying, like at 29 when you first started realizing? Did it take... How long did it take you to, like...
The way you worded that, can you word that? I don't know, you worded that like, it just sounded strange, like...
No, at 20... Oh, sorry. No, at 29, like when you started noticing these things, and you were like, "This can't be possibly fucking happening."
Oh, yeah. Well, my own denial.
How long did it last?
I will say a good maybe 5 or 6 years, but there's a difference. I wasn't denying it.
Okay.
I was seeing it.
No.
Going, I can't believe I see it. But not only that, remember the context.
Oh, okay.
The context is different from a one-to-many standpoint. And when I say that, what I'm saying is I'm isolated to a worldwide group that wants me dead, and the worldwide group are all conspiring together so they know what's going on. And if you don't know what's going on, you're some cave dweller that's never been out of their cave, right? So the context based on conspiracies versus the target are completely different to begin with, but when I was watching it, I knew it was going on, I just didn't believe. Does that make sense? I'm watching people provoke me, and in my mind, I'm saying they're doing it, they won't stop, but I can't tell someone because there's that fear. What am I going to say? It's going to sound crazy, right?
Right, of course.
Yeah.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Okay.
The one thing I was going to point out that, Kevin, Kevin, I'm sure you know that Kevin is extremely isolated and that, he doesn't really have anyone in his life. He has his therapist, and he has, he can count on me as his mother and his stepfather, Arnold, my husband. I don't know if he has anybody else. I don't think so. But in the first years, even though it started, things changed for him when he was 29 and a half, let's say, or close to 30. It was right before his 30th birthday. He still had friends and, family that he saw and interacted with for a number of years before that sort of changed slowly. It kind of got so that there were fewer and fewer people until he really had, very few. So, it wasn't just a sudden thing where he, I don't think that's important at all.
Right. No, I mean, that makes sense because, of course you don't want to believe that these things are being done.
Yeah, and that abandons and isolates me. And then the cover up is it's not happening and he's crazy, right? That's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
And that is, if you read about gang stalking, that is how they operate. They isolate you, they destroy your life, isolate you, and then they make this guy's crazy. He's a loner and he doesn't talk to anyone and blah blah blah. Yeah. He's a violent paranoid schizo. Exactly what they're doing. Yeah.
But in the first.
Yeah. Hello?
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 Oh, I can't hear your mom at all.
No, Hello? You still there? Hello?
Maybe did the call drop?
Probably. Okay, so I guess, Brittany, you have any questions you want to ask me or anything?
Not right now, but I need to think about it, I guess, because I'm glad that we did that because I understand better.
Yeah. Well, do you see the dynamics?
I do.
The dynamics, whether she means it or not, is you're crazy and you're I mean, do you understand? Okay, you're sitting in a restaurant with her and people are attacking you and it's, well, people do this and people do that, saying it's not happening. And then it's, I don't want to be around you because you won't acknowledge the situation. And then it's withdrawing you in mental institutions and this and that. And never at any point is, you're not going to fucking throw my son in a mental institution. And you're doing this to him and you won't fucking leave him alone. Right? Do you understand?
Right.
Okay, so there is no neutral because neutral gets me killed or locked away.
Right.
And her statements are more damaging than anything by saying, "Oh, Kevin, well, I understand that people do this and people." Then what she's saying, and to me and other people, is that I'm crazy, right?
I mean, have you ever tried to think that your mom is trying to make you feel better and it's just coming out horribly wrong? Did that ever cross your mind?
Yeah, it has, but the problem is she's always digging for information.
Okay.
And to prove that I'm a bad person, right? So she asks me about the Dincy's death threat lie, right? And then after I prove it to her, she keeps asking me more questions, trying to figure out whether I did it. Right? It's like, well, wait, I just showed you on video, so why are you now asking more dirt-digging questions if you're on my side? If you're on my side, I know my son. He's a good person. You're a fucking liar, and we have video footage showing what you're doing. Right? There's no waving on these issues because it's black and white on video that I'm a good person and that they're lying.
Absolutely.
Okay, so why is she digging for more information to use against me, but then it's I love you and this and that, and you've heard the statements, well, at restaurants and this and that, where she denies it's happening. Well, her statements aren't consistent. Does that make sense?
It does. Do you think she is truly, basically in denial about everything?
I can't tell you. I honestly can't tell you what the fuck's going on, because as you've seen, from person to person, they all want me dead. I don't know if you listen to the Gregoire Convo or the newer Gregoire Convo. Okay, now I'm going to send you some notes on that. Remember the man tactic?
Yeah.
Well, Gregoire at least 30 times says man, and punching out, and all these references, ideas of trying to create ideas of reference, schizophrenia, to trigger me, my good friend, who I stood in front of a crowbar for.
Right.
Do you understand? And this behavior of theirs goes from one person to the next, all my friends, my family, and strangers worldwide, that I know you, I don't know you, I'm going to get that confession, and you need to die. And so if it's going from one person to the next, and she's just one random cave dweller that doesn't know what's going on. Oh, but wait, isn't Seymour another cave dweller? Oh, but wait, isn't Deborah Bear another cave dweller? Oh, wait, but isn't Arnold Silber and Ron Perelman and Jason Perelman and... Oh, wait a minute, so now they're all cave dwellers. Right? Okay, do you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Okay, so how can I trust her if she can't stand up on the front line and say, this is fucking unacceptable? No matter what, no matter what she believes, if she's crazy, if she's schizo, if she's bipolar, if she's in denial, I can't trust her. She's not trustable if she can't be on my side.
Do you think, could she prove herself to you if she were to take a stand and take action?
Oh, say it again?
Do you think that there's any way she could build that trust back with you?
Well, I think that's the first step with her or anyone else. Absolutely. Let me give you an example. You are the only one that went out with me on video showing what's going on. Okay? You're the only one. Out of the hundreds of private investigators that would do this for anyone else for $100, not one would. They all tried to stop me, get information used against me, make sure that didn't happen. Okay?
Right.
You are the only one that started to establish that trust and honesty by doing that, saying, I'm on your side, that I'm not going to be neutral, that worldwide mobbings to kill someone or lock them in mental institutions isn't okay. And while you're still on the fence and iffy and...
well, it makes me nervous because I see now exactly, and that's personal experience, but I'm not going to stop doing it because it's the right thing to do, and this needs to...
Yeah. And so that's the first... Unfortunately, this is a weird situation. This is an unheard of situation, but that is the only way that anyone...
Because that's what's happening.
Yeah, that's the only way that anyone can start to gain my trust. There is no... In this situation, there is no middle ground. That's like... that's like being in the Civil War and trying to be neutral while standing on the battlefield. You aren't neutral. People are dying, lives are at stake. There is no neutral decision.
Right, it doesn't, no.
Yeah.
It can't be.
Yeah.
So.
And that obviously doesn't apply to everything in life, but this situation, it does apply.
Right, because this isn't the one where taking a neutral ground is. No, then you're taking a side, and
you're sitting at a restaurant chewing food. I'm neutral, and your son's being battered to death. Okay.
Right.
Well, whether you're fucking neutral or not, it's offensive to me to let me die, right?
It is. I know. As she kept talking, I was like, oh God, please, just don't say anything else, because she kept saying things that are not helpful at all.
Exactly. When I tell her what's being done to me at the restaurant, she flat out says, well, people do. Okay, that makes you look crazy. Right? Okay, now she probably goes to her friends and plays bridge. My son said this. Right? You get it?
I do.
Okay.
That's
so now...
oh my gosh, she just needs to stop talking, because what she was saying was I was like, oh my God, it's just, this is worse.
And it's
not
it's
helping at
wavering from right to left, like nothing's consistent.
Right. Exactly.
And I can't tell you what the hell's going. I have an idea what's going on, and actually, I can tell you what's going on. She's stuck in the middle of a situation that's probably pretty horrific.
It's a moral dilemma.
Well,
right.
not just moral.
I mean, it's not a moral dilemma. I don't think, 'cause you're her son.
Who is the guy funding a lot of this? Think about this.
I don't know.
Well, there's multiple people. There's multiple people, but Arnold Silber, her husband.
Okay, her husband. Yeah.
Her rent, her paycheck, her means to spend the rest of her life in peace and not worry about money.
Right.
Is in direct contact with Dincy, Deborah Bear, trying to lock me in mental institutions. Do you see I'm locked into a dilemma? I want to be neutral?
Yes, you're locked into a dilemma, but there's no neutral.
Yeah, okay, so now I'm supposed to fly up there and hang out with, whether my mother's neutral or not, I'm supposed to hang out with her and her husband who wants me dead. Do you understand?
Right. Yeah, that's something like you're not going to put yourself.
Yeah, okay, so, and I can go through all sorts of situations, from him taking me on fishing trips and the things they were doing to me and this and that, as well as the situations.
With your land, right? Or your apartment?
What?
Or house?
Oh, say it again?
Like wanting to take over of your
That's one of them, one of these endless things.
Yeah.
Direct contact with Dincy, paying off Dincy to set me up, working with Deborah Bear to try to force me into mental institutions, recent convos showing that he's directly linked with Deborah Bear. Okay, do you understand that
I do.
Being around them is dangerous? Whether my mother's neutral or not, she's with the enemy. Does that make sense?
Correct. Yes, I understand 100%.
Okay, so...
And if she were to come here, then without him, you don't think?
I can't tell you, but the things would still be going on. Does that make sense?
Right.
So how do you, once again, you're sitting in a public room being mentally battered to death, and you're imagining it, and then don't you see those are situations that are going to try to get someone to react to lock them away?
Of course.
Okay, so if you can't
100%.
be on the honest side, then you really, whether it's intentional or not or anything else, you can't be around me because you're a danger to me, and it's not some psychological traumatic event from childhood. It's
no, this is traumatic though, everything you've been going through.
Yeah, but they're trying to spin it as, something happened to you at a young age, so we got to put you in a mental institution to solve it.
Yeah, no.
Okay, well, that's a justification in hunting me down. That's the original justification.
Yeah, that's just ridiculous.
Yeah, the only traumatic event I know of is that my brother wanted me to see Toxic Avenger by Trauma Films. You know?
Right. No,
okay, so...
this, too. Everything that's happening every
While
day.
girls run around on Twitter and Facebook saying he's toxic or they're toxic or whatever, hinting about that, right? But,
Right. But no, that doesn't, no. Everything that's been happening to you for like over 40 years, that's traumatic, absolute complex.
Well, yeah, because you no longer can have a normal life, but it's not a mental illness. That's the difference.
No, it's like because events are occurring still.
Yeah, they're abusing me and trying to collect labels and use it to justify throwing me in mental institutions, and then you have to say why. What's that about? Correct?
Correct.
Okay, well, what audio did you hear this morning?
Greg Wall.
Greg Wall and a brother that's threatened to put me in a mental institution. I mean, can you, what's your opinion whether that's directly connected or not? I mean, how many people that...
That's insane especially considering you're the one that, saved him, and now he's, no, that's, not a, it's,
Yeah. So now I think, see, this is the problem. My mom with Arnold are like, secretly, like, we fucked up. So Kevin, just don't say anything.
Right.
Kevin, just don't say anything, right? But if you're constantly being attacked,
you can't just ignore that.
correct, right? It's a
catch-22.
You can't ignore it. You can't move on because
this is your reality.
Because you're reacting to being hunted, right? And so step one, stop the murder operation, okay?
Right.
But now that it's been 40 years of this, or 18 solidified years of all day, and how do you?
Understood.
Yeah, it's like, okay, there's not really any going back here, right? So what are you gonna do? Well, you're gonna probably lose your parents. Not by choice. Now, if my mother's neutral, maybe I can have some kind of minimal contact in the future if this blows over with my mother only, like on the phone or something. But that's probably it, right? You understand?
Much, and that's probably the hardest one, huh?
What?
To like not, because she's like the only one you talk to.
She's the only one left. Yeah.
Family?
Yeah.
Okay.
Arnold is even on the last call. Like, remember when I went to the 13th annual firefighter, and an hour later, Arnold was calling me up with his thug tactics and intimidation tactics with Deborah Bear. Okay, so you understand? He can't. He's not. He's a psychotic, and so my mother's the only one left that I can have some minimal contact with, and that's provided A, I'm not in mental institutions or jails, B, the mass worldwide operations to lock me away stop, okay? Right?
Wait, what was the last part you cut?
I said A.
The last.
Oh, you still there?
You're not in a mental institution or jail, and then.
Correct, that's A, and then B, the mass endless attacks worldwide stop. Right?
Right.
And she can play her denial game, and we can both put on this fake denial game or facade, but I can never really be quiet about the situation because it's not the type of thing you can be quiet about.
No, you literally can't, even if you wanted to. There's no way. So,
so...
I mean, I'm glad we did that though, because now I get to see exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, so I mean, what did you, from your standpoint, what did you see?
God, it's so hard because I want to believe her because I'm a parent and I know it would be hard for me to fathom this, but it's like she just kept putting her foot in my mouth and nothing. It's like you said, there was no direct answer. Like, yes, I see exactly what is happening. This is absolutely wrong. None of that, and that would make.
Well, I've never heard her even say that, but
I know.
But she says that. Exactly what I'm saying. Yeah, and then she jumps back to, "I don't believe you," right?
Well, yeah. Then it's I was just saying that happens to me too, and it's like, okay, you just because no, it doesn't.
Yeah.
So I see what you're saying. You want to believe her, and then something else is said, and it's like, okay, there we go.
Yeah, she's just... and more importantly, when we first started talking, did you see how she was putting words in my mouth?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm glad that
she met with Susan Donner. I never recalled that. But, more importantly, she kept telling me, or you, what happened in my therapy sessions. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah, she did keep saying that. And you're like...
She was never there. So. She said, that's not what Susan said.
How did she know?
She said, yeah. Out of the, I don't know, 20 therapy sessions, let's say, was she at each session? How does she know what was said in these sessions?
Gosh. You are, so smart. I wonder if she even picked up on, because you're like, hello, how do you know this? You're communicating with somebody or whatever if you know these things. And Oh, man.
And if she knows that, there's only two ways. There's one way she's filling in gaps with fantasy, or they're bug tapping conversations, which she's still trying to cover up, right?
Illegal.
Yeah.
Right.
So
right going on.
So it doesn't matter what she says, because the bottom line is she was never there.
Correct. That's why I was confused.
And she does the same thing with Alex Lazar. And she says these weird statements that, oh, after you started going to him, you were so much better, and this and that. And I'm like, I've talked to you a couple times on the phone. How do you know what's going around? You know what I'm saying?
Right. Exactly. Was that after, was he the one who put you on medication?
Yeah, well, I was on several with medication, but he kept cranking like he was a complete moron. And
no, I'm saying, do you think that's why your mom was saying, like, you're so much better to, you know?
I don't know. It's either she's in complete fantasy denial, or she wants everyone to think that, oh, by getting help you're better, so therefore you need to get help. Right? Does that make sense?
Right.
But she doesn't fucking know jack shit. She's off in Canada. What the fuck does she know? I'm not living with her and she's seeing my day-to-day or where I go.
No.
Yeah, so...
Not at all. It's just really... I'm so sorry. Like, it made me really sad, like, hearing... all you want is your mom to have your back and to protect you, honestly, and say, like, this is not okay.
Well, I mean, yeah, you want your family to support you, and... But not only that, it's strange to me that even strangers can't acknowledge these simple moral issues that are so obvious that apply to everyone else on the planet, but not Kevin Perelman, right? And then they try to make me feel like it's my fault.
Right, or like you're imagining it or whatever.
Yeah, today's conversation with Greg is like, I know you feel and you're looking for these things and blah, blah, blah. I was like, did I fucking...
I'm not looking for things.
Yeah, and as he's saying it, he's provoking me with the schizo tactics, right? Okay, it's like...
Oh my gosh.
By the way, one of the statements from Susan Donner was, they think you're schizo.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you ask her?
I never asked her who she was talking about, they, but apparently... they seem to be the entire planet, and the question is, how they, the entire planet, knows who I am, is my original question at 29. Right?
Right, exactly. Because I wish we could talk to your mom again sometime.
We can, I mean, I don't mind doing more of these, especially when she's on a better phone line, but the problem is, as we know, they don't want me talking, and they're threatening me for the 23rd, so we don't know.
Right. It would just be nice to, like, we could all hear each other, maybe. I know she's not good with technology, but still, like, if there was some way.
We might be able to show her Skype or something.
Yeah, or even just on the phone if you and I are in session, but at least we're together. We don't have to do the three-way thing.
Yeah.
I think that's what we're talking.
Yeah, that could, yeah.
So just like a speakerphone session or something, you know?
Yeah.
That would be, I mean,
Okay, so it's not just me, right? Well, she's all over the place.
No,
she won't admit to anything.
Absolutely.
She has no clue.
She is all over.
So, you know, I don't know if she's stuck.
It's hard. I see what you're saying. Like, it's hard to tell if she just is totally oblivious or if she, like, knows. And
like,
just, you know,
stuck in an Arnold Silver jail?
Correct.
Okay, think about this. Without, I don't want to totally, trying to keep an open mind. If Arnold has the resources to pay off judges, juries, police officers, donate to paying a division to have it built, that's kind of like one of my theories in 2009. This guy's got a lot of money, okay? Purchase properties with pool halls on them so he can get me to the pool halls to do things to me. Then she could be stuck. She could be stuck
in the middle
in a jail of terror with this guy, right? And she's not going to want to talk Because if he's doing this to me, you know, what's her fate,
What is he
right?
doing to her?
Yeah, and so that is a possibility.
Ugh. Correct.
But you can't address that issue if the truth doesn't come out, right?
Right. Right. It's like oh man.
Right. So she might be being just as abused as I am from this guy. Except the problem where things fall apart is
in a different way.
where things fall apart is my father, Ron Perelman, also is taking part, right? So now things get really weird.
Right.
Right. Now things don't make any sense logically.